home. Have you heard the news? It's probably been twisted to keep the general population conflicted. Better lick your finger and turn the page. Dissect the lines that made you to rage. Get out of your Monday drudgery. Turn up the volume on front page fuckery. Yeah.
It used to be that you couldn't live without me, but now you think you're better without me. So I guess it's over, and I guess it wasn't true when you said I love you, 'cause I know love wouldn't count me out. Another week, another Brandy song. Those who are in the members area must be sick of me by now, because I can't get enough. Like that Full Moon album, like girl, Brandy Norwood. Brandy Tumishe Norwood, that's not her actual middle name. But what do you actually mean? Superb album. Like the singability of that Full Moon album, crazy. Just absolutely crazy. So I just thought I'd do that because, I mean, last week I was using one of the other songs. Yes, Bryan Adams sang it, but I'm thinking about Brandy and yeah, just phenomenal. And you know what? I think I like when artists cover the same song. Like Dolly Parton wrote I Will Always Love You, and she sang it, and then Whitney Houston sang it, and I absolutely adore both versions. I can't say to you, oh, I prefer this one over this one, because Dolly Parton is my girl. I hope she's not working for the CIA, but I love her. If Dolly Parton has another concert and I'm available, oh baby, I want to be there. Because what the fuck do you mean Jolene, Jolene? Jolene, 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 Jolene. I'm begging of you, please don't take my man. And I know like Beyonce had her version, but she wrote, she wrote I'll Always Love You and Jolene in the same day. Imagine writing two phenomenal, groundbreaking songs on the same day. Like, she can play guitar and her nails are out here. My nails are as my nails currently are, and I still struggle with chords. I can't make bar chords. Like, I struggle, not me scratching myself. I struggle with bar chords. So if anyone has any extra tips, this is the only time I'm asking for advice, because, you know, I hate unsolicited advice. But if you have any tips on bar chords, how I can train my fingers to really apply pressure, let me know. Because I'm learning Killing Me Softly. Strumming my pain with his fingers. What? Singing my life with his words. Killing me softly with drones. No, sorry. So yeah, I'm learning that, and I want to be able to play it really well. Not that it has bar chords, but there's something I need to be able to do. Anyway, that's separate. So I'm learning that, and I'm always and I'm also learning I Can't Help Falling in Love with You. You know that one. Wise men say only fools. Yeah, I'm learning that. So it's going to be a whole situation. My birthday, there will be a show. I'll talk about it in due course, but I strongly advise you. Well, I should tell you the date, shouldn't I, if I'm strongly advising you? But I think it's the last Saturday in September. I strongly advise you to save the date, because it's going to be on and popping, and it's going to be South London for my birthday. So maybe I'll perform a few songs, or maybe I won't. Who knows? I don't want to promise you anything. I can promise you that it's going to be an incredible show. It'll be basically Front Page Fuckery live. But yeah, it's going to be Front Page Fuckery live. But I don't know if I will actually perform a song. But you know what? I think I can actually maybe get away with performing Looks Like We Made It. Look how far we've come, my baby. Might have took the long way. What? We knew we'd get there someday. They said, what? I bet they'll never make it. But just look at us holding on. Bogle. Who knows? Sorry. If I have the right situation, I would like Vibes Cartel to come out while I'm playing that, and Shania Twain at the same time. So as I'm singing that, you're still the one, and then you just hear Vibes. Gaza, like I can see it. And then Shania Twain and Vibes Cartel collab with me singing that. You're still the one I run to, the one that I belong to. You're still the one I want for life. Go there, gal. Go there, gal. Go there, gal. Oh, do you know money is actually sweet? For what money does in this society, money's actually sweet. Because what do you mean? If I was a multi-millionaire, I would make that happen because that's what I want for my birthday. You're giving me a gift on my birthday for my birthday. That's what I want for my birthday. I would want to perform You're Still the One, have Shania Twain come out, give her coins, have Vibes Cartel come out, give him his coins. Although the ethical things around that, because we he killed some people. There are dead people. So I don't know, but World Boss is now free. Can I not? Can I not? But maybe I won't, because when he was doing his little freedom tour, me that was going by Ben's Punani Womanist for the longest time, I didn't get a look in. So why should I now give my ducats to that whole situation? So I don't know. Anyway, in an ideal world, that's what I'm saying. And if I can't have that, then somebody, because I know you are all super, super talented that listen to this podcast. I will introduce it shortly because I just launched right in. But you are all super talented who listen to this podcast. Can you make me a remix of You're Still the One? Do I want Lovers Rock, or do I want like a kind of like a reggae vibe? You figured it out. Like, send me different versions. That's what I want for my birthday. Just send me different versions of You're Still the One. You're still. I think that there already will be one of those versions. You know, them slower versions, those Jamaican versions. I think like that would already exist. I bet it does. I'm going to play it in my car if I find it. But I would like some kind of remix with Vibes Cartel. And I don't know how you're going to make it happen, but I want it to be You're Still the One mixed with Ben's Punani. So there's a task. If you are looking for something to do in the run up to the end of the world, you can always make me a remix of that for my birthday in October. Anyway, you're like, who the hell has been yapping? It's me, Kelechi, the baby girl, aka mother of London, forevermore, always and forevermore. And I'm here for another episode of Front Page Fuckery, where we turn bad news into good conversation. I am just so proud of me, making podcasts solo, minimal drama, just being wonderful, and stopping one podcast and making another podcast, and just generally being wonderful. Like, I love what I do. I say minimal drama. I have cussed some people in the history of previous podcasts, but I just love what I do. Just facing my front, facing the news, and glad to be back for another episode, really, to get into all of the things. So what have I been up to? Well, obviously, I spoke to you earlier on in the week that I'm back from Montreal, and then I won't go into the next bit, but I'm back anyway, and there are things to get through. I don't think there are too many things for us to discuss. Obviously, I've got the front pages up, so we'll be looking at that very, very shortly. There are just a few bits from me. So I finally finished watching Wonder Man, starring Yahya Abdul-Mateen II. And I just want to take a moment, in case you aren't aware, any of you out there, Yahya is the love of my life. I've decided. I mean, I'm a Libra, so I have like 10 different loves of my life every month. But Yaya is the love of my life. I have loved that man for so long. I think he's a Cancer sun. And I don't, do I, what, I don't, Cancer is like my 8th house. Woo-hoo! That's a bit sexy. That's a bit raunchy. Oh, but, Yaya Abdul Mateen II, why is he actually so beautiful? And why is he actually so talented? In fact, arguably the most talented of all the mensies. How? But I say that, and Mahershala Ali, is it Mahershala Ali the third? They've all got numbers. Am I Kelechi Okafor? I'm Kelechi Olufumlayo Okafor the first, maybe. I might not be. I might not be, but it sounds cute. It sounds cute, you know? Kelechi Olufumlayo Okafor the first. But, you know, Mahershala Ali, amazing guy as well. Beautiful, beautiful man, beautiful actor. Love him too. And sometimes I kind of oscillate between the two. Who do I love more? I don't actually know. But Yaya, oh my God, it's the eyes and it's that smile. God damn it. I just had to take a moment because I don't think I've expressed fully on this particular podcast how much I adore that man. Like, why, how? And to think that he only got into acting, was it 2019? Not 2019, 2016? Is it around 2016? The way he skyrocketed through, crazy. I think it's 2016. That's mad. To have achieved, all he's achieved thus far is crazy. Watchmen, is it The Watchmen? Watchmen sold me. There's a particular scene, I won't go into it. It's not safe for work. But there is a particular scene that I'm just like, yeah, perfect. He's just a perfect being. I love him. And I watched Wonder Man and I thought he was brilliant. I thought that the way he approached the character of Simon was so great. You know, that insufferable sort of actor type that wants to add so much to a scene. And you're just like, you're on screen for 2 seconds, brother. Like, keep it pushing. So to watch him from this kind of frustrated, insufferable actor in Hollywood, then get this role, and then all of the other things that are happening around it, it was just, it was great. I thought like it was great commentary on Hollywood, but also like I just love how he's in that universe and how his superpower kind of comes to be. I love how they kind of infused Haitian, sort of like a Haitian family into the storyline. I don't actually have the words. I just really enjoyed Wonder Man. But would I have enjoyed it as much with another actor in that role? Probably not. I know that I'm biased, and I know that my strong admiration for Yaya colors my view or my perception of Wonder Man. But I personally loved it. Funnily enough, I couldn't get through, is it Agatha? You know, that came after One Division. I couldn't really get into the Agatha one. Don't know why, because I love spells and I love witches. So I should, or did I watch it all? If I did, I probably did, you know. Didn't really leave an impression, but loved Wonder Man, love Yahya Abdul Mateen II, loved him in Candyman, loved him in the Watchmen, and now love him in Wonder Man. I'm sure I've seen him in, of course, Black Mirror. I loved that episode. Him and the other guy, his name's gone out of my head, but you know the one I'm talking about. That episode, I really want us to sit down and have a watch party to discuss that episode and to discuss the homoerotic nature of allegedly straight men in our society. Not in a derogatory way. I think it's fascinating and I think it's layered. And I think if men were allowed themselves, each other, to explore intimacy, to explore their emotions, their feelings, their sensuality in a way that isn't, it hasn't been kind of devoid of feeling. If they were allowed to explore that, to explore their humanity, it would be fascinating to see what comes forward. And I would like somebody to write something. I can't promise I'll read it because I have so many things that I need to do and I haven't done them. And I know loads of you have wonderful Substacks. I haven't gotten through them, barely even started, right? But anyway, I would love someone to write something around how men are using female AI features, because you can make like your own AI model now. If I was bad mind, I would make a right-wing AI model girl, like OF girl, like a sexy girl, and set up a whole page for her and let men subscribe to watching sexy vids of her, and then I'll plant into it kind of like very leftist, if you want to call it that, rhetoric, but they wouldn't immediately notice. They might not even ever notice, but I would plant that in there as well. But like make all of these right-wing sexy videos with this AI girl and charge them loads. And then I would basically live off that money and have a great time, because I would consider it a form of reparations. Like if you want to be mad, I tell everybody every week, if you think you are mad, there is always somebody madder. If it wasn't for my ethics, which I don't think, don't listen to me as if I'm so, like it's robust. Don't listen to me. I'm just saying, if it wasn't for my ethics that I have right now, my moral code that I have right now, the way my moral compass is pointing due north or whatever the rascal are, I would create a right-wing OF type of model. And she would make her little sexy photos, sexy videos, and it would attract all of these right-wing men, and I would take their money. I will take it and I will enjoy. Do you know that one of my friends is currently staying at a hotel that has heated toilet seats? Hear me well. It has heated toilet seats. When you're walking up to the toilet seat, it automatically opens. It's got a sensor. And then there's a touchpad on the wall that you can select how you want the water, the bidet function, to wash your bum. Do you want it to wash your pum? Do you want it to wash your bum? I've heard of heated floors. I've experienced heated floors, my G's, but a heated fucking toilet seat? I have not. I'd like to see it. So every day, the call is getting louder that Kelechi, scam the demons, rob this England. And yet here I am, just making it by comfortably, just getting by comfortably, when instead I could be filthy, stinking, bomber clot rich. You don't know. This is why they say that when you walk past people, don't judge people. You are a person, they are a person. We're all people. Don't judge people. You don't know the battles that they're fighting. Every day I fight the battle of scamming, knowing that I'm Nigerian. It is coded, right? I fight it, but the people, my people are right there that need to be scammed. But anyway, going back to what I was saying, why we need to discuss how so many men are behind these AI models, and they're talking, they're having chats, they're in the chats with other men, the men who are subscribing to them or following their pages, giving them money, they're chatting. So it's men talking to men. But I guess they always say men know how to suck each other's dicks better because they know what they like, right? They know the sensation, they know what they're going for. And I think it applies for lesbians and stuff as well. But they know what each other likes. So they know how to kind of get each other off and say the things through this AI, this female AI model that's going to appeal to these men. And they're doing depraved things when we know that there are group chats where they're sending each other videos of how they've drugged and raped their wives. There's a group chat of thousands of men who are sharing these things, CNN did a report on it just the other day. Like, there are so many layers. If I start talking, we will be here for 5 days. I always have to remind myself, like, girl, it is a podcast, because I will sit here and chat. I could probably do a 24-hour podcast. I talk to myself most of the time anyway. I just have to record it. I could do a 24-hour podcast. Maybe I'll do a sponsored 24-hour podcast and I will just yap for the entire time. Do we have a Guinness World Record for the longest running podcast, like consecutive, like they've just talked? Because I would do it and raise money for Congo and Sudan and Palestine. I would do it. Just saying. Anyway, but back to all of this, like, there's so many ways I could go with this conversation. Do you get what I mean? Like, as you're listening now, you probably see the various avenues we could go down with this. But one of the things I'm thinking is that there are people who are rushing their life. They're rushing things because they just want to get married, because they want to prove something to whoever the fuck, I don't know who. Not realizing that marriage doesn't guarantee you safety. It really doesn't. Marriage to a man, a cis-het man, doesn't necessarily guarantee you safety. I'm not saying don't do it, because who am I to talk? I've been married, I've done that. But I'm saying, like, think, baby, think twice for the sake of our love, for your sanity. Ooh, think twice. And it's interesting to watch certain people in the public eye who, you know, that the reason that they are deferring their dreams, pushing what they do aside, that arguably has been a brilliant body of work, they're doing so because they are looking at things and going, I don't yet have a husband, I don't yet have children, so I'm gonna abandon all of this because I need to go and focus on that, and I need to try to acquire that. But the greatest love story of our life will be the love that we have for our actual life. We are the love of our own life. And if we are not cultivating love within ourselves, we will always be giving away our power to other people, begging them to love us. And more time, the people that you're begging haven't even figured out how to love themselves. So we're just empty, trying to fill emptiness. It's a lot. It's a lot. And I feel like in the age of Black women who are deconstructing religion, who are divesting from religious dogma, to see people holding on dogmatically to pick-meism and then hiding it behind, oh, I'm a Christian. No, you're just an unevolved woman. You're a woman who has forgotten her power. You're ridiculous, actually. You're very ridiculous. You're very pathetic. You can do better. So it feels like I'm jumping about the place, but it's just interesting to me that in every field you look at, if we're talking about the culinary field, the highest paid chefs are men. The sporting industry, the highest paid athletes, men. Like, wherever you look, men are paid more. And then you then enter into the realm of this digital sex work, and then they're creating the AI models, and then they are out earning the other girlies, the actual girlies. They're out earning them as men behind the screen operating their female, sexy, spicy models. There's something grossly unethical about that. But then it speaks to the larger narrative around patriarchy, because one could argue that the average pick-me type of woman, no, even take it beyond pick-meism. When we think about beauty politics, right, and all of that, we are all essentially, to some degree, walking avatars, human avatars controlled by the desires of men. What do men find attractive? You're shifting and shape shifting to fit that. Men don't want women who seem powerful, who seem masculine. So everybody's jab, 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 not even jab like what we do for carnival, you know, or for playing mass. It's jab, 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 because I need to be as slim as possible to replicate looking like a child. I need no hair on my body to replicate looking like a child. You're doing all of these things for people who actually are pedophiles, right? Like, the whole fashion industry, the movie industry, everything geared around being as small as possible when you're a woman, being as little as possible. And so I would say that wherever you are, I'm not even trying to come for the modesty girlies, because for the most part that there is a liberatory practice in that as well. But there are some factions where it is a performance to perform modesty to men in order to be chosen. Not everybody by a long shot, but I'm just saying, right? So it's everywhere. And so essentially women have been for a long time these living, breathing avatars controlled by the depraved desires of men. Now men can sidestep the human living, breathing avatars and create what they want to create on the basis that you motherfuckers keep asking for rights. You want rights. You want freedom. You want liberation. Fuck that. Let's just go and create what we want to create over here. However, they can't not interact with women. So the violence that they don't get to inflict on the avatar, on the model, they then bring into real life and continue to bring into real life. I think I've got a thesis there. You know, I don't have the wherewithal to do all of that. If I was going to do a master's or PhD, like a doctorate or whatever, research, it would be about myself. You know, I would do it about myself and what I've managed to do in my life thus far in terms of how I show up in the public sphere and sharing my opinions and everything. I've said this on Say Your Mind before, but that is what I would do it on. But all of this would feed into it. That when you speak to some people who are like, oh, Kelechi, I don't really like her. Why? Why do you hate this baby girl? Why do you do me that way? Why? Because it's not human nature. I'm a cutie. But ultimately, it will boil down to the audacity that I have to know things and to share what I know, and then to not know things and share what I don't know, and to figure it all out, or to be on the journey of figuring it out and not give a fuck what anybody else thinks about that. It is what it is, you know? So I don't know, I just wanted to share that like my mind is still trying to figure out where this whole AI thing is going. So you'll find people like there's this AI model girl that's apparently a veteran, not a veteran, like she's in the military, but she's not real. She's not real. Like even when were they making American uniform, military uniform that's like a baby t-shirt, like a baby crop? It's not real, but people don't care. Like, thank you for your service. She's on a server. You can't. Anyway, while I'm on that subject though, another thing I wanted to say, because it blows my mind, right? How do people watch shows like Love Island and not consider that in years to come, I do believe that the producers, the production companies that make these shows, they're going to be sued. You're plying people with alcohol. They're sleeping with each other, walking around scantily clad, like barely clothed, sleeping with each other. Essentially, like, what are we watching, guys? It's not a judgment call. I'm just asking for us to break it down for a second. How is Love Island not sex work? Because so many of you frown upon sex work, but you will jump on Instagram Live to come and give your perspective, your breakdown, your hot take on a Love Island episode, when essentially they're all of these, attractive people, conventionally attractive people, have been put in a confined space together, and with the aim of us watching them kiss and sex each other. Like a mating zoo, but just an attractive mating zoo. And then when they leave at the end of it, they all stay together for a little while, get some brand deals, and what exactly? I'm sure that some trauma, or quite a bit of trauma, is being kind of acquired, or it's happening to people who are there. It's being inflicted on people who are there, and we're not thinking about it enough. I just couldn't get my head around it when I saw one of the Love Islanders. It ended up on my FYP. They're talking about, oh yeah, I slept with quite a few people, I guess. I thought, wait, what? And I could be, are they getting paid for being there? But because it's a reality, is it a reality show? Like, is it scripted? Like, what? Either way, what I'm saying is, if they're not being paid, that's crazy. If they are being paid, that's also crazy. But essentially, the very thing that you'll go on about, like, oh, this person, like, I don't appreciate, I don't like sex workers. Sex work is work. I just find it interesting how sex work is work. We know this, but when you lot are actually seeing blatant sex work on your TV screens, you don't see it as that. And who benefits from creating these sorts of shows? Where is it leading us? To what end? What are we getting from this? Like, I don't know, the voyeuristic kind of insatiability of the public is getting out of hand. But you all do what you want. Oh, do what you want. But I just wanted to share that. Do let me know your views on it, because I can't unsee it. Like, I've never felt drawn to watch the show. But then when I just look at the show objectively, I'm like, but wait, this is actually sex work. Why is it not deemed as such? But whatever. So was that all I had for you? Because I've been yapping my babies. Well, of course, I don't know if you've seen the Drewski skit on Instagram or on social media, where Drewski, the comedian, he dresses up as a MAGA white woman, but that MAGA white woman looks very much like Erica Kirk. And it was accurate. He didn't do anything disparaging. It was just more along the lines of all of these fireworks that she loves having around her. Like, bitch, your husband just got shot. Why so many fireworks? Surely, is that not traumatizing you, hearing the pop pop to the pop pop pop? You're not concerned? Crazy. And then the Daily Fail have it here. They said comedian dons whiteface. Outrage as comedian dons whiteface to cruelly mock Erica Kirk's public appearance in wake of Charlie's murder. I'm glad that they stopped calling it assassination, because it wasn't an assassination. He just got shot. Whiteface is not a thing. Blackface is. And this is why I wish more people would become conversant when it comes to critical race theory, because you would then understand that when blackface was being done, it was to mock black people, white people mocking black people, and black people not having the power to stop it. So it was punching down. Whiteface, due to the systemic and institutional power that whiteness holds, cannot be seen in the same way as mocking and derogatory. That's actually stupid. So anyway, it says here, a controversial black comedian, you could have just said his name, has sparked outrage online after donning prosthetics and whiteface to mock Erica Kirk's public appearances after her husband Charlie Kirk was fatally shot. Drew Desbordes, or Drewski, posted a video where he was seen dressed in a blonde wig, makeup, a cross necklace, and prosthetics to mock conservative women. Yes, conservative women. She's just the quintessential conservative woman, but that doesn't necessarily mean that it was her, because I haven't seen her in a Pilates class. One of the other shots in that skit, you see him at a Pilates class doing it badly and getting drinks for his pet. That wasn't necessarily referencing her. You just went off the fireworks thing, but that means that we recognize that the fireworks are crazy. But even how he got her fingers, the movement of her fingers just right. And anyway, I'm saying that it couldn't have been her, but maybe it was her. The video captioned how conservative women in America act, saw the 31-year-old comedian recreate and mock viral videos of Erica Kirk during her public appearances after her husband Charlie was fatally shot in September. Kirk took on a large role in Turning Point USA, Charlie's nonprofit that focuses on engaging young college and high school students on conservative politics. She faced waves of backlash following her husband's death, with many saying that her grief was appearing performative and disingenuous, because it was. In the beginning of the video, Drewski was seen dressed in a white pantsuit while dancing on stage with sparklers, a podium, and an American flag. Then Drewski holds a mock press conference during which he says, "We're praying for all the soldiers and troops." "That's great, you're praying, but," a mock reporter began, while another interjects and asks about children dying in an attack by the US. It broke my heart, Drewski responded in an exaggerated tone. The clip cuts to him singing along to Katy Perry's California Girls while driving. Drewski was then seen holding a Bible while appearing on a makeshift podcast. The clip appears to emulate a viral video that saw Kirk looking directly into the camera while menacing music played, mocking the intense stare. In what ways have you grown closer to Jesus? The mock interviewer asked. I serve a righteous God, and that is why we say our prayers, he answered. We are all his children, but when I say children, I mean the holy, blessed Trinity, which is why I hold the Bible. Another clip of Drewski appeared on the same stage plays before he was seen ordering at a coffee shop drive-through. Sweet cream foam chai ice match Bella and Bella will have an all organic pup cup. He was heard ordering for himself and dog Bella. Yes, everything organic. Okay, I've never heard Erica say that. I mean, I don't follow her much, but I haven't heard her say that. So then what's the problem? A clip of Drewski then mocking a viral video of Kirk dabbing away tears played before several videos were featured of him attempting Pilates. The video cuts to Drewski standing before a podium with a mock police officer who is a person of color, is stood behind him. We have to protect all men in America, especially all white men in America, he began with his hand over his heart. The camera pans and zooms in on the mock police officer who begins to side-eye Drewski. Those are the boys that we care about in this country. America is built on their backs because they are the ones who matter most. The whole video posted on Wednesday garnered more than 670,000 likes, 110,000 reposts, and 13,000 comments. Always surpassed that. It's on 361,000 comments currently. However, many were outraged by the clip, and plenty drew the conclusion that Drewski was targeting Erica Kirk. So, one person wrote, I thought you were funny before. This is just disgusting. For what reason? Like, you're forgetting who she was married to. You're forgetting who she is. He said he didn't have a problem with gun violence, right? So what's everybody crying about? She wants to jump around. Your husband got shut down. Like, I don't get over it. And then they'll go with the whole, this is misogynistic, because even if it is a white woman doing all of these things, and it is a conservative white woman, but we shouldn't be making fun in this way. It's what you signed up for. So I don't know what to tell you, quite honestly. So yeah, I just wanted to share that Drewski backlash, even though I don't think it's anything to write home about. I mean, he's doing all of that, but I thought whenever I see people go viral and I share their videos, sometimes I just go and click on their page to see what they're doing, who they're following. And it's interesting that I don't think he follows many black women. And one of the main people that he follows is a white OnlyFans girl. So I don't really have a dog in this fight. I don't promote dog fighting, by the way, but I don't have a monkey in this jungle, so I'm staying out of it, to be quite honest. But then following on from that, we then have a great update that Ghana leads historic UN vote declaring the slave trade the gravest crime against humanity. The United Nations General Assembly has voted to designate the transatlantic trafficking of enslaved Africans and the system of racialized chattel enslavement as the gravest crime against humanity. It was adopted on Wednesday, 25th of March, 2026, with an overwhelming majority of 123 member states voting in favor. UN Resolution A80L.48 marks a historic shift in the international community's engagement with the enduring legacies of slavery. 3 countries, Argentina, Israel, and United States, voted against it, and 52 abstained. That's very easy to understand when you consider that Argentina is where the Nazis fled to, and it's an extremely racist country, and they massacred the black people who were enslaved there, quite a lot of them. So Argentina is just Nazi-ina, basically. Then we've got Israel. I mean, what can we really say? Of course, because of the history of the people who live there or have settled there, occupied that land, there is a grave, the grave, I won't use that, but there is a very, very sad, deplorable history about how they were treated, which is seeming to be the justification for the things that are happening currently that I don't agree with, right? But aside from that, there are lots of Zionists or Zizis who love to say no other race of people is treated like this, and this is the Holocaust is the worst thing to have ever happened. And it's just like, yes, that was a very, very terrible thing that happened, and there were these things that happened also that in terms of numbers and in terms of like the length of time kind of overshadows that completely, like outweighs that completely. And multiple things can be true, right? But you can't just claim that this was the worst thing of all time. It was extremely terrible. It was one of the worst aspects of our collective history. So if we can say that about these years, these numbers of years, why are we not saying that about these centuries that this particular thing went on for, and the aftermath of this particular thing? So the semantics of this was, the Holocaust was the worst crime against humanity, or however they phrased it, and then now the transatlantic trafficking of enslaved Africans being the gravest crime against humanity. We can throw words about, we just know that it's terrible. We don't speak about currently the genocides that are taking place. If we're using those numbers, why are we not looking at the numbers currently? What's happening around the world? What's happening in Congo? Like, what's happening in Sudan? Like, children got buried alive in a mine recently in Congo. Like, are we not, we should be equally outraged, especially because the resources that they're digging for benefits the West, benefits the UAE, all of that. It's a lot. I'm just getting some more bits up because it was interesting for me to read anyway, and just see to see how people decided to vote. So of course they're not going to say, Israel's not going to vote or even abstain from voting that the transatlantic enslavement of Africans was the gravest crime against humanity, because they've got a vested interest in what they're currently saying, which is, no, this particular thing that we put everything on, this is the worst thing to have ever happened. So we're not changing that. And you shouldn't have to change it per se. Just understand that there are multiple histories that kind of layer onto that as well and interweave into that. So there's that. And of course, then the USA, a massive beneficiary of the transatlantic enslavement of Africans. So they're definitely going to reject it, because that would give a substantial foundation for reparation. So of course, the US is going to wholly reject it, because the whole formation of the US relied on the transatlantic enslavement of Africans and the kind of continuous torture of them since. The ones who abstained, though, it says that there were 52 members of member states that abstained. Pretty much all of Europe abstained. Funnily enough, Russia voted that yes, it's a crime against humanity, and then all the ones that kind of hang with Russia, Tajikistan, all of them lot, like they all kind of said they voted the same way. But I'm not shocked, like the overtly right-wing places like Poland, Croatia, like they voted, they abstained. I think they abstained. Yeah, they abstained. Well, of course they did, because we know the three who wholly rejected it. But yeah, the resolution was spearheaded by Ghana and strongly supported by the African Union. Ghana's leadership in championing this resolution reflects a deliberate and strategic effort to move global discourse on slavery beyond symbolic acknowledgement towards institutional accountability and reparatory justice. By rallying broad cross-regional support and negotiating a text that commands such decisive backing, Ghana has positioned itself as at the forefront of an evolving global global justice movement. But why this is contradictory and conflicting is that just a few days before, Ghana's signing deals with the same European countries that abstained to vote on something like this. So it's like the very people that you're doing business with refuse to acknowledge that this is, but I guess by the 123 states who have acknowledged it, maybe it's going to push something some kind of way, who knows. But yeah, it was just interesting to me. And my thing is, if we can recognize this, then why do we have anti-LGBTQ laws? Because you know that it is wrong to torture a people, to violate people. You understand that. So then why would you, in the same breath, still have anti-LGBTQ laws? This is the same thing I think about Burkina Faso, Nigeria, everywhere, but specifically somewhere like Burkina Faso. Like when I was saying it to Amanda Seals in the episode that we did together, we can't be talking about true liberation if we are still being horrible to marginalized folk on the basis of their sexuality and their gender identity. That's crazy. We haven't actually moved the needle at all. That's wild. And I can't really wholly get behind that. And you can't convince me that, oh, girl, just go along with it now because we can change it down the line. Let's just focus on the most important thing. No, I'm not moving from this spot until you guarantee me that we are all in this together and we will be okay. I'm not doing it. Many times before, we've been told to go along with something and it's like, don't worry, we'll give you women rights down the line. You'll get your rights down the line. Let's just do this together for now. Support us men. Let's just do this for now. And then you get there and your eyes will see your fucking ears. Your nyash will open to the wind. I'm not with it, quite frankly. This initiative builds on Ghana's long-standing legacy as a gateway of African remembrance and reconciliation, from its Year of Return initiatives to its sustained advocacy within the United Nations on issues of racial justice. Through this resolution, Ghana has elevated the conversation from reflecting on past atrocities to advancing concrete policy commitments aimed at redress, structural reform, and systemic transformation. And you know, I said Russia voted that it was a crime, you know, against humanity. I think China did as well. Well, when you are getting a lot of land on the continent, you better have voted that way, because I feel like they're playing the long game. I'm not romanticizing it. They are just aware of what they want in the long term. And I don't think we're done with being exploited. That's just my view. But I still feel like this is a momentous occasion. I still think that this is something to be proud of. And it sure as hell wasn't led by Nigeria, because Tinubu is busy shaking hands, holding hands with Charles as they, you know, stumble about the palace, you know, eating jollof rice. And his wife is busy flying out, doing fancy things for her birthday and with her friends, not caring about the fact that the average Nigerian doesn't even have electricity. Why? Because Nigeria owes a lot of money to the energy supplier. Trillions it owes to the energy supplier. So most people right now don't even have consistent electricity, but your wife can fly out to Dubai with her mates and then just tell everybody, pray for me and donate to this charity. Fuck you. It's all a madness. The corruption is everywhere, and it's very sad to see. So yeah, it could never have been Nigeria leading something like that. Not the Nigeria and the state that it is. So I'm glad, although I do have reservations. Like I said, I'm this kind of come over here, settle over here, the diaspora come and settle over here. How are the people who have lived in Ghana, who have lived in these places, how are they being respected? Is the land price going up, pricing them out of their areas? Because colonialism is still colonialism, regardless of whether our skin looks the same, because we're coming with a particular type of power that we have garnered from the imperialist countries that we've grown up in. And we're bringing that over to the continent, buying people out. How is that fair exactly? And Are we integrating with the culture, or are we bringing our own oppressive cultures to these spaces and then being like, well, yeah, I'm back in the motherland, but the moment that somebody in the motherland pisses you off, you're going to call them an African boo-boo. So I've got questions that need answers. So do help me when possible. But yeah, it's a lot of these things are mind blowing. You can go on forever and ever, like peeling back the layers, and it's still crazy. Like it just doesn't stop being crazy. What was I saying to you before? I was telling you, or I was speaking to you about, yes, it says here on Wednesday, March 4th, 2026, 70 children were buried alive in the Rubaya mine in Eastern Congo, digging with their bare hands to extract the minerals that power our smartphones. We must not forget them. This is from the page teamcongo.rdc. They're a humanitarian organization committed to improving lives across Congo. And I don't know, not that I don't know about this, but it's the way that, what do you mean 70 kids? All for the sake of smartphones, 70 kids were buried alive. And it's barely made any sort of mainstream media, whatever, because it's, that's another thing as well. I'm a bit standoffish when I see people only talking about Palestine. And I get it, because all of the things are interlinked, and I'm guilty of it as well. Like most of the things that I will post might be around that, but I will find a way to link it and say, because this affects this and it affects that. Like I'll find a way to link it. But when I see people who are just like, yes, Palestine, but the moment that the people are darker skinned, oh, it's complicated. Oh, I don't actually know what's going on over there. Well, the same way that you educated yourself about what's happening in Palestine, you should be able to educate yourself on that. No, we all should. We all should be doing that. But somehow, when the people are darker skinned, it's like, well, I guess that's their lot in life. It's the same issue I say that I have when people are like, oh, we've got to save women and children, almost as if, I guess, the boys, the men, the teenagers, they don't really matter because violence is inextricably a part of their gender identity. For all of them, it doesn't sit well with me. It doesn't. So, yeah, I guess maybe they're thinking, oh, the women, the children are included, the boys are included in the children, but then at what age do they stop mattering and they become something else, like they're thrown to the other side? Just something to consider. Anyway, guys, whilst I was saying that, there is an astrology software that I want to get, and it's a pricey one, but it just means that I can save the details of my clients and be able to do cool things with their charts while I'm doing readings with them, when I'm doing my tarot readings and stuff. So, I mean, if you want to contribute, feel free to drop something in my little PayPal link. Because I want to get this, to the extent that I messaged the software developers and I was like, hey guys, can I have a discount code? Please. So if you want to drop me a little sum, please do, because I want to get this software. Like I can do bits. I can do absolute bits and bobs if I get the software, or when I get it. I'm going to get it regardless. But if you want to, come along for the ride, do so. I'll put a link in the show notes for you to do that if you want to do a little something for me. For the front page news, then let's look into it. The Guardian says here, Trump extends Hormuz deadline, claiming Iran talks going very well. Nobody is talking to you. Is it the dementia? Trump, is it the dementia? Nobody is talking to you. They don't want to talk to you. They're not your friend. US president says threats to attack power plants pause for 10 more days. You know that if you do it, they will fuck your shit up. Do it if you're bad. Touch a button now. Donald Trump has extended his deadline for Iran to open the Strait of Hormuz by 10 days to 6th of April, the number 6, after saying talks with the Islamic Republic are going very well. Meanwhile, they're making videos saying, fuck you and the clique you claim. You don't scare us. You're fired, bitch. Fuck off. Like, they're not saying those words because, you know, alhamdulillah, that they're not saying that. But you get what I mean? Like, the president made the statement yesterday in a social media post saying, as per Iranian government request, please let this statement serve to represent that I am pausing the period of energy plant destruction. Imagine somebody writing that. By 10 days to Monday, April 6, 2026 at 8 p.m. Eastern time. I'd love to see the birth chart or the astrology chart for that particular time that he stated. Talks are ongoing, and despite erroneous statements to the contrary by the fake news media, he even capitalized that because it's a whole branch of media, apparently, the fake news media, and others, they are going very well, Trump said on his Truth Social platform. Earlier, the US president had urged Iranian leaders to negotiate an end to the near month-long war or face further assassinations of senior officials and amid intensified action by the US and Israel. The threat came as Israel said it had blown up and eliminated the Revolutionary Guard's naval commander, Ali Reza Tangziri, and several senior officers in a strike on the Iranian port of Bandar Abbas. You're just looking for trouble and it's not going to go well. A bank boss loses job over £470 million savings scandal. The chief executive of the state-backed National Savings and Investments Bank, that's NSNI, have been forced out over a scandal that left bereaved families owed almost £500 million. The savings institution is in talks with the Treasury to repay about 37,500 people who collectively have £470 million in deposits trapped in the bank after years of operational errors. The government has parachuted in a new chief executive and promised that those affected would be paid compensation where appropriate. The pensions minister, Torsten Bell, told the House of Commons yesterday that Dax Harkins had been replaced on an interim basis by Jim Hara, who led HM Revenue and Customs for more than 5 years before leaving in 2025. The savings and premium bonds provider, which describes itself as the UK government savings bank, told ministers in December of an operational failure to comprehensively trace accounts of some customers who had died. They've been taking their money. You've been taking their money. You've been chopping their money. Oh my God. You've been chopping the dead people's money. Bell said the root of the problem had been a tracing issue, and he related that he reiterated, rather, it's blurry here, that people's savings were 100% safe and guaranteed by the government. Yeah, because you spent it and you know the government's going to have to cover it. Bereaved families recounted extreme difficulties in recovering money owed to them. Tracy Maguire Brown told the BBC it had taken 6 years to receive her late father's premium bonds. It was the most awful experience, she said, of her struggle to claim the £2,000 investment left in his will. £2,000. The former care home manager from Newbury in Berkshire said dealings with the bank had been upsetting and frustrating. She was told she was not entitled to the proceeds from any wins from during the 6 years it had taken NSNI to process the claim. That's crazy. I used to work as a receptionist at NSNI, you know. Why it's so funny to me is because that's actually how Sally in HR came to me. That's why it's funny to read that, because I remember it was when I was sat at the reception desk. They loved me there. One thing you need to know about me, I am a little star when it comes to working at these places. Not too much responsibility, not too much responsibility on a baby girl. I like doing receptionist work, admin work, so I can go home. I want nothing to do with these places. But I would always come in, cute outfit, all of that stuff. Quite a few of the Sally in HR skits came to me because of my experiences of working at NSNI. Because there was another woman there. She actually like worked there, right? I would come in as cover. She actually worked there, but they love me, so they would have me regularly. And so I'd do that between acting jobs. I would do that between qualifying as a PT. Like, I've lived a life, honey. So yeah, anyway, there was one woman who worked there, and she was on the same floor that the reception used to be on. Or yeah, so she would walk by, black woman, and we'd kiki, you know, it was just cute, nothing major, just a cute kiki here and there. And then one day we're just having the same very surface level kiki. We're not boys, we're not homies, right? We're just having the same surface level kiki. A white woman walks past and she goes, oh, look at the two of them, the troublesome two, the trouble twosome. I be you there, Chris. Shorty Yawirini. The troublesome twosome where? Where have you seen us be two before? When did two become one? No spice. What are you talking about? That's when I said, nah, white people are mad. You are mad. Like you've not even seen us together like that before. It's just been a passing situation. Oh, I like your shoes. Yeah, I like your dress. Oh, blah, 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 blah. And then this one day, we exchanged probably a couple more words. And then you walk by. Ooh, look at them. It's the troublesome two, the trouble twosome. That's when I was like, yeah, people are mad. People are mad. And so I think it was that day that I heard that. I said, got it. Got it. So when it came time to creating Sally, got it. Wow. Because I wouldn't have been able to write these things unless I had the experiences, right? So everything worked out in the end, I guess. The Times here says Mandelson not asked for messages from personal phone. Lord Mandelson has not been asked to hand over WhatsApp messages or texts from his personal phone. The Times has learnt amid concern at the limited nature of the government's disclosures. The peer handed over his work mobile when he was sacked as ambassador to the United States because of his friendship with the late paedophile Jeffrey Epstein. He has not been asked by the Cabinet Office or for any of the messages on his personal device. A dozen officials are trying to reconstruct the contents of his phone by asking ministers and officials for their correspondence with the peer. Morgan McSweeney, Sir Keir Starmer's then chief of staff, a key figure in Mandelson's appointment, reported that his phone was stolen on October 20th, just over a month after the peer's sacking. His messages were not backed up, meaning the bulk of them will not be published as part of a mass disclosure by the government. None was published in the first tranche of disclosures, which concerned Mandelson's appointment. The minister or the prime minister said yesterday that he hates the mistake he made in appointing the veteran Labour figure as US ambassador. Starmer told Sky News Electoral Dysfunction podcast, I know that after nearly 20 years fighting violence against women and girls, I made a mistake there. You weren't fighting any violence against women and girls. You are the violence. You watched Israel, but basically the same thing. Israel and the US bomb a girl's school, bomb it to the ground. And then you're still like, yeah, you can come and load your missiles over here. You can come and load your bombs over here. What the fuck do you care about women and girls? You're also a problem. You're a criminal. And all of these little visits that he's doing onto podcasts and all these publicity things that people are doing, like, do you think that we buy it? Do you think that we're stupid? I mean, some people are, but not I and I. Not NS and I. Well, they are. The Times has been told that the Cabinet Office was so concerned about the limited nature of the disclosures that it started reconstructing and doing whatever it was doing. Look how they're getting away with it. It'll be the same with Andrew. They would have been helping Andrew when they were clearing him out of that house, his mansion or whatever, to move him. They would have cleared most of the incriminating things that they needed to. They're laughing in our face. I don't know what to tell you. The Times also talks about Trump gives Iranians 10 more days to open straight. They don't have to if they don't want to. Farmers fear the worst as William sells estate land. The Prince of Wales has been urged not to put profits before people when selling land on a historic country estate as part of a shake-up of his private property portfolio. The Duchy of Cornwall, which belongs to Prince William, insists that the sale of 10 farms on land in Devon is a move to focus on other areas where there is greater social environmental need. However, the announcement has left farmers and others with connections to the Bradninch estate, part of the heir's private landed estate, since its formation in 1337, fearing for their future. One tenant farmer said he would not be able to buy his farm without saddling his family with generations of debt. He said, having a landlord, William, who was supposedly that focused on mental health, the amount of stress and anxiety among the farmers and tenants is through the roof. The town council said it was a worrying time for many and that residents were questioning the future of the duchy-owned assets such as wetlands, allotments, and the football field. Will Bax, the Duchy chief executive, said tenants were being given first refusal on buying their farms, and some had confirmed this is a very exciting moment for their families to have the opportunity to own their farm, and our job is to allow them to step into this. Bax said the Duchy had always bought and sold land, but over the past year or so, partly catalyzed by having a new principal, William, we have rationalized the structure to best maximize the social and environmental impact we have. He said the sale of Bradninch was intended to allow spending in the areas of the greatest social and environmental need. They keep using that word social environmental to throw us off. You can tell when they write statements like that it's a distraction. William is getting money. William is trying to get as much money as possible. Like, if this monarchy shit is done, my family needs to be good. Do you want the land to extend, I don't know, to build an airport, to do whatever? You can have it. You want to build a factory? Fucking have it. Don't give a shit. I need money. William is doing this to get money because he knows the monarchy is fucked. It's these little pieces of information that seem to just be there for no reason that tell us a lot of things, and that's confirmation that it went off at that point. Thank you, Spirit. Inside joke. But yeah, this little piece of information sitting here tells us a lot. William is getting money. William is preparing for something. And to sell the land that you lot have had since 1337. Why, and then, these farmers will have the chance to be able to buy it. How much are you charging for it exactly? They probably won't be able to afford it, but you'll probably be able to sell it to some foreign billionaire, some kind of shell company. That would be interesting. Could he do that? Could he sell it to a shell company and that shell company is actually his? So it takes it out of the kind of royal portfolio and then puts it into his private, proper private portfolio. I don't know. I don't know the ins and outs. This is what I'm saying. I'm not a scammer like that. I'm not a scammer like the royal family because they scam. The people in the higher echelons of society, they know how to scam. I don't. Because to me, what you see is what you fucking get. But I'm clearly, I need to learn how to scam. Because what is this? And this farmer is right. You talk all up and down about, you care about mental health and you care about people who are experiencing homelessness. And then here you are making the farmers homeless, you fucking bitch. It's not even like you're coming up with an initiative that you'll be like, let's build housing here. Let's try and maybe relocate people here. You're not doing that. That might mean that the farmers have less land. And some people might go against my thoughts. That's fine. I don't actually know what the solution is. I'm just saying that it seems very callous to just straight out sell it because you're not concerned about the people anymore. You're like, this is a money grab. And I'm going to take the money and go and do something else for social and environmental. You are an eco-fascist. You don't care. Scary times. Anyway, what does it say here? This is, which paper is this? The Metro. Trump throws out, what's it? Trump throws our toys out the pram. We don't need your aircraft carriers anyway. Don rants as his operation in Gulf flounders. Donald Trump has insulted the UK's aircraft carriers, HMS Queen Elizabeth and HMS Prince of Wales, saying they are toys compared to the US ships. So put your US ships there. Put your US ships there instead of this mumu, this fool, Keir, going to go and back your beef, sending the warship forward. They'll fuck you lot up. Don't be crazy. The US president referenced the UK's offer of assistance weeks ago, adding, they aren't the best aircraft carriers, by the way. They're toys compared to what we have. But we'll send our aircraft carriers when the war is over. I said, oh, that's wonderful. Thank you very much. Don't bother. We don't need it. He also lashed out at NATO for doing what he called absolutely nothing to assist the Middle East conflict. He said, now they all want to help. Now that the other side is annihilated. You didn't annihilate anybody. Like, I want to have this level of delusion. I really, really do. Because it makes no sense. Oh, what's this? My life inside Putin's war machine and why I defected. Russian officer on witnessing war crimes in Ukraine. Well, good on you. Good on you. New rules on screen time for under fives. Government advice for parents. Don't let your child's memories be defined by screens. Streeting rights for the iPaper. That's coming from where's streeting? I definitely don't think that children should have as much screen time as they do. I agree. But where's streeting being the one to be talking about it? I'd be wary. UK faces triple shock inflation, weak growth and energy crunch. Again, this is probably linked, even though we're looking at this in the iPaper now. If we go up to, what was it before that I was looking at the Times when I was talking about William selling the land, selling the farmer's land, they're all linked. They're all linked. He's trying to get money now while the price can be good before everything goes to shit. He's trying to duck out. If he's not trying to duck out, he's trying to move as much money away from public scrutiny as possible. That is what William is doing. Global economists downgrade UK growth to just 0.7% in 2026 and warn of recession risk. Inflation forecast rises to 4%, double banks' target, and would be second highest in the G7. Reeves faces £10 billion headache on finances, even if America's war with Iran ends next month and energy damage in the Gulf is fixed quickly. Impact likely to be felt on unemployment, wage growth, fuel prices, and home energy costs. Always hitting us. Not the actual fuckers. You bring the impact to the people who are minding their business. Trump mocks UK toy navy and number 10 offer to eventually send ships. I said, don't bother. Israel says it has killed Iran naval commander responsible for blockading the Strait of Hormuz, and yet it still remains blocked, you fucking bitches. There you go. Haha. Oh, somebody here, page 11. I worked with Trump. Here's what I know about his mental state. I don't need to work for Trump to tell you that his mental state is not good. So you don't worry about that. We've got it covered. Britain's, what is this one now? What am I looking at? The Independent. Britain's economy is the worst hit by Trump's Iran war. While US President ridicules our warships as toys, OECD issues dire inflation warning and slashes UK growth forecast to 0.7%, the biggest impact of any G20 nation due to the fallout from his Gulf conflict. Britain faces the biggest economic blow of all major global economies from Donald Trump's war on Iran, with growth slashed and inflation surging. The Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development said the UK looks set to be hit particularly hard, with the 2026 growth forecast downgraded to 0.7%. From a previous estimate of 1.2%, the largest drop of any G20 nation. It came as President Trump launched a fresh tirade against Sir Keir Starmer for his stance over the war, dismissing British aircraft carriers HMS Queen Elizabeth and HMS Prince of Wales as toys. But that's what you get when you try to be a dirty, stinking bitch and go and lick Batty for a Trump's batty at that is just oozing, secreting feces, you're going to eat shit. This is what you are doing, Keir Starmer. You're now eating shit because you had no business being there in the first place. Picking up his papers on the floor, being his little run, his send out. Your Trump send out. And what did it get you? Nothing. You're just being ridiculed. And by him being able to ridicule the leader of the UK, it weakens the UK's geopolitical standing. It's crazy, but it's true. And I don't feel anything about it. Do you know that when Trump announced not bombing the power plants or the nuclear plants or whatever he said he was going to bomb in Iran, somebody sold oil shares just before then because, things were tight. And so the prices were going up, and they sold oil shares just before then, and they made, 580 million pounds, 10 minutes, or is it 15 minutes before he announced that he wasn't going to do what he said he was going to do. So there's lots of insider trading going on. Everybody is scamming. Everybody is scamming, and you and me, we're just here looking at each other in the eyeballs. As I'm recording this, you're looking in my eyes, I'm looking in your eyes, and we're both here with less money than these lot. They are scamming us, and we are just here staring into each other's eyeballs. What are we going to do about it? It is crazy. They're taking us for fools. But anyway, honeys, I will leave it there. Yes, I'll leave it there because I've got to get home in time to do a tarot reading for a client. I've got somebody booked in. You know where I am if you want your tarot readings. They are amazing. If I do say so myself, I'm blessed. And you can see all the testimonials on my website, or not all of them, but you can see some of the testimonials on my website. Sometimes I post a few in my stories. They're in my highlights on my social media page as well, on Instagram @Kolechnikov. You'll see it there as well. I love reading tarot for the girlies sometimes if I don't think our energies are aligned. If I happen to know of you and I don't fuck with you, I might just refund your money. So be prepared for that as well. But for the most part, it's cute. It's a cute situation. They're scamming us, but we're still cute. When all is said and done, we're still sexy. Okay? So let's at least try and hold on to that. Okay? Scammers are going to scam, whether they're royal, whether they're governmental, they're going to scam. So that's it. I have been Kelechi, the baby girl, aka Mother of London, and this has been Front Page Fuckery, where we turn bad news into scamming conversation, just joking, into good conversation. And take care of yourselves, and I'll catch you next week. Yep, on the other side of the news. Bless.
Oh, have you heard the news? It's probably been twisted to keep the general population conflicted. Better lick your finger and turn the page. Dissect the lines that made you to rage. Get out of your Monday drudgery. Turn up the volume on Front Page Fuckery. Yeah.